Hi and welcome to my channel. So the UK Home Office and Immigration has announced and indeed confirmed that from the 11th of March 2024, they will not be issuing a license to recruit overseas workers for thousands of UK companies. And by the way, this includes companies that are already currently recruiting overseas workers. And so in fact, there's a lot that is going on, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you all of the details so that you're aware of what these are. But most importantly, when you're applying for jobs, you're very strategic on the companies and making sure that you're doing some fact finding and really digging deep on which company you're applying for jobs with. Also, it's going to help you if you're working for any of these companies. You need to check to make sure that they are compliant. Otherwise, they will no longer be able to recruit overseas workers because the Home Office has already announced that, and I'm also going to tell you why. So if you're new to my channel, you're obviously welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber as usual, I absolutely appreciate your time. And I do hope that you're finding it helpful, watching these videos. If there's anything that you need more information about, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to share. One of the things that is really a massive hindrance to many people is that many of us don't feel that we're deserving of our worth, what we should have. So I want you to leave a comment in the comment section below and say, Melvis, I am deserving. Because when you say to yourself that you're deserving, the universe is kind of going to open, and that's how you get to succeed and achieve your goals. Whether it's getting a UK visa sponsorship job, trying to switch, whether it's moving to the UK, career progression, getting a job for the NHS, getting into nursing, getting apprenticeships, getting that next top senior position, it doesn't matter. But you need to believe that you're worth it, you're worthy, and you are deserving. Very important. Don't sit and think, oh, this is for other people. Like, who am I? No, you are deserving. This is something that I say to myself every day, and it's like a manifestation of what I want to achieve. And look, it really works wonders for anything you're trying to do in life. Very important. So if you haven't joined this family, by the way, take this opportunity to hit the subscribe button below so that you're the first person to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here at 10 a.m. prompt UK time. I dedicate my time to ensuring that you're the first person that is informed about the best opportunities that the UK has to offer. So yes, do join us and hit the subscribe button below. So what are we talking about, by the way? So there are many companies that the UK Home Office is going to ban them from recruiting overseas workers, and this is as early as the 11th of March 2024. So what is really going on? Also, by the way, if you need to get in contact with me, check the comment section below. You're going to see my contact details on there. There's my WhatsApp number as well as my email address. You're also going to find my newsletter. It's completely free. When you join, you drop your name and email, and I send information directly to your inbox about opportunities in the UK, changes, updates, visas, immigration, career progression, apprenticeships, literally everything that you need to have a really good life in the UK. Because if you don't know, my motto is to work less, earn more money, and get to retire early. I'm not a fan of working 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. I'm like, we didn't come to this country to suffer, because so many people are suffering here than they were back home. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, does it? It makes absolutely no sense to me. This country is full of opportunities, and if anything, you should be better off, not worse off than you were back home. Please, it is not worth it. If you're in this situation, like I said, leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I am deserving. You deserve the best. You deserve to be worthy, and you deserve everything. So the Home Office has said that any company that is not registered with the CQC, which is the Care Quality Commission, will not be allowed to recruit overseas workers any longer. And new companies that are not registered will not be able to register to join the license in order to recruit overseas workers. I know that there are thousands of people in the UK at the moment that are working for such companies, because when carer jobs were added to the shortage occupation list, there was a massive drive, and anybody was literally applying for a license, and people are recruiting overseas workers when they've got no jobs. And that is why you see that there are thousands of people coming to the UK now without any jobs. Is because those companies are not CQC registered, which means that they don't actually have any jobs. I mean, many of these companies have no job at all. So when they are recruiting overseas workers, they know that these people will come to the UK and have no work to do. And that is because they are not qualified, obviously, to recruit carers legally or to get contracts for carers to be able to work, because there's a whole, thing there in itself, which I just cannot get into in this video. But there is a process. If you want to legally recruit overseas workers, get carers, get contracts, from the local authorities, from the government, private contracts, it is a whole process. Many of these companies haven't gone through that process. They don't know how to go through the process. They don't have the requirements to go through the process. And so they just apply for the license, bring overseas workers, and then they get to the country and they're all frustrated, like thousands are at the moment. And this is the reason why the Home Office has stopped this. And from the 11th of March, these companies will no longer be allowed to recruit overseas workers. By the way, if you're watching this video, it's very important, crucial. Do share this with your network so people are aware, because the more people are aware of this, the better. It's going to save a lot of heartache. It's going to save many of our friends, family, our colleagues, our relatives, from a lot of trouble. Because if you're still out of the UK, you may think, oh, it's okay, all I need to do is get to the UK. But when you get to this country and there's no work for you and you're stranded and you haven't got anybody and you're stuck at home every day unemployed with bills piling up, it is not a good situation. Like I say, it's very frustrating, and I don't even want to get into the details on the impact that this has had on successful people that were running businesses back home, that had amazing careers, that are now frustrated in the UK. The Home Office has also given deportation notices to many of these people, as many of these companies have already been closed at the moment. So again, this is not a pleasant situation to be in, and that is why I'm doing this video, to make sure that you are aware. By the way, if you're not aware, my name's Melvis. I work as an advanced nurse practitioner for the NHS here in England. So I started as a carer myself. That's why I'm very passionate about all these different pathways and opportunities, and what do you do and how do you progress and all of that, because been there, done that through all those processes. So I offer one-to-one guidance, support with visa sponsorship opportunities in the UK, career progression. You want apprenticeship, so you're paid to work and study at the same time. If you're interested in any of these, do check out the description box below or the about section of this channel, where you're going to find more information about my private coaching program. I must warn you, it's not for everybody. It's only for the top 1% of people that, like me, are interested and heavily invested in personal and professional development. And like I say, if you're part of this 1%, then yes, do check that out. Get in contact with me so that you can get the support that you deserve. Because like I say, it's about feeling deserving. It's about wanting the best for yourself and for your family. You're also going to find lots of free resources that I've got, about different opportunities, career pathways in the UK. So do check the description box below. You see all of that on there. But like I said, if you need to contact me directly, do check the comment section. You're going to see a link to my newsletter. You see my WhatsApp number on there. So that if you need to contact me, that's absolutely fine, because that's the point, really. And yeah, I understand about the challenges that people are facing and all that. And so when it comes to people that are already in the UK employed by these companies, what is going to happen to these people after the 11th of March 2024? Very important question. So, and by the way, this mainly affects people that are on the occupation code of 6145 and 6146. So if your COS has that occupation code, so it's mainly carers and senior carers for private organizations. If you work for the NHS, this is never going to be a problem for you, because the NHS organizations are normally very compliant with immigration laws and rules, but it's really private companies. I think that's been really obvious for those of you that are aware, which is why thousands of people are now in the UK stranded without any jobs. So the Home Office has confirmed that these companies, if they have already recruited any overseas workers, because some people are doing this legally, it's not everybody that is doing it illegally, but this law is going to affect everybody. So if you're a company and you've actually got shifts for your workers, whatever job you do, if you are already employing overseas workers, you can keep those workers that you've already recruited after the 11th of March. If you need them and if they are working. If you don't, then they need to find other companies. They need to find other jobs and go. That's what the Home Office has literally said. But you cannot recruit more workers, but you can keep the ones you've already got currently. And the reason they've done this is that the companies that are actually legit and compliant, they're not left stranded with staff. So if you are working for a company that is not CQC registered, which is your duty to check as a candidate, by the way, because as an overseas worker, you always need to know everything about your company that is sponsoring you in the UK, because they're the reason why you're in this country, which means that now the homework for you is, if you're in the UK working, or you're waiting for a COS, or you're planning to apply for any jobs in the UK, apart from checking whether the company is on the list of licensed sponsors to recruit overseas workers, you also need to check whether that company is registered with the CQC. Because if they are not registered, guess what? There's no need to apply, because they cannot sponsor overseas workers after the 11th of March. And many of these companies that are bringing people without jobs and all of that, they are not registered. So not all of them, majority of them aren't registered. So this is going to significantly reduce the number of people. But if they've already recruited you, it doesn't mean that you're going to lose your COS. Existing candidates can remain with their COS, but from a candidate perspective, what you should be doing is looking for another job. That's what the Home Office is indirectly saying. Find another job while you still can, because eventually all these companies are going to lose the right to recruit overseas, and they're going to be stuck. And if you're a candidate working for these companies, it's not a pleasant situation. There are also many people that are waiting for COS allocations from these companies, and little do these people know that there's no COS coming, because these companies are no longer allowed to recruit overseas workers. So again, I'm just here to give friendly advice. This is sisterly advice, if you want to take it that way, so that you're aware of what's going on, because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to these visa jobs and, carer jobs and all of that. And that's why I'm a huge advocate when it comes to NHS jobs, because all this drama is not there. It's going to take you time to get a job with the NHS, but once you do, you know that you've got a job. Why should you come to a country like this and be stranded? It doesn't make any sense. So again, you need to be very wise. You need to be very strategic. You need to be really, really strict with any employer. It's not about being desperate. And that's why I don't like when things get to a situation of desperation, because when you're desperate, you're likely to make mistakes. You're likely to be more compliant. You're likely to throw the rules out of the window, and so do things when you can. If you're on a student visa, start applying for jobs really early on, before the visa ever has to expire. If you're on visa sponsorship and you know that employer is not legit, start applying for jobs immediately. Don't wait until they give you 60 days to leave the UK. Then you're like, hey, Melvis, I need visa sponsorship, please. You need to make hay while the sun shines. You need to be very smart. Don't sit back and be dormant, watch video after video after video doing nothing. You need to use the information that I'm giving to you in order for you to improve your life and make sure you're aware of what's going on. So again, I hope you found this helpful, by the way. Like I said, check my contact in the comment section and check out this video right here.